Hello everybody, it's Jean-Marie. I'm going to work with the bargain bead box today, the March box with all this pretty green that we received. I'm going to use this pendant that we received in the box. I did put a jump ring on mine because that's what I'm going to need for it to attach. It's just a little 6mm jump ring. I have cut 3 pieces of wire. This is 20 gauge wire. What did I do with it? That one's my 26 gauge. There we go. Just my 20 gauge wire, and I have cut 3 pieces. I have cut one at 5 inches and 2 at 1.5 inches. And I am going to use a block and hammer. I'm going to use this block and my rubber end hammer. Spin that so we aren't looking at the rust, I guess. And I'm just going to work harden my pieces of wire a little bit with the rubber hammer. And I have already done them, so I'm not going to do too much. I just want to show you what I'm going to do. They've already been hardened. And we're going to make an earring. And the only thing I'm adding to the box is these little flower beads. Let me take these out of here. These are not going in it. I don't even know why those are in there. These little flower beads. They're just a little 8mm flat flower bead. Okay. Those came from the sister store. And what I'm going to be doing with those is I just glued it on already because I need them to dry by the end of this. But I've just glued them to a flat back stud with a loop. Like that. I'll finish letting that dry. And let me see what else. So we're going to need 2 of the lampwork beads in addition to our drop. I'm going to use the 5-inch piece of wire. We're going to use some of the little gold spacer beads and some of the little crystal barrel beads. So the first thing we're going to do is take our, if you have them, 6-step bail making pliers, and I'm going to go to the smallest one on it, and I'm just going to give it a little turn just like this, and then I'm going to move up to our second, 4th smallest size in the middle there, the bigger of the 2 in the middle. I'm going to hold my loop right up against there and bring it back to make a little shepherd's hook, just like that. Okay. And then I'm going to bang the camera with my pliers. I'm going to open this up like I would if it was a jump ring. I'm going to take a little bit of 26 gauge wire, just a small piece, just a little tiny piece here, and I'm going to hold my little hook piece in my hand like this and just wrap 4 or 5 wraps right beside each other. Like this. Okay. Take my pliers and squinch that down just a little bit. Flip it over and come in the back and grab that wire and just trim it off and then tuck it down with my pliers. And come up to the other side where the other piece of wire is that we started with. Trim that one off. And tuck that one right down in between. Pull them together. Make everything all nice and neat. Now you have this. So we can go ahead and close that loop again. Just like that. Okay. And now we're going to string on our beads. We're going to start with a gold bead, one of our little crystal beryl beads, one of the lampwork beads, another crystal beryl bead, and another gold bead. So we have this. And then we're going to put on our little pendant piece. And there is a front and back to your wire, because where you've wrapped your ends to is going to be your back. So you want to make sure that your pendant is facing forward of that. I'm having a hard time telling which is which. Okay, I need to turn it, because when I flip that up this way, there we go. That's my front. All right, then we're going to put on another spacer bead, another crystal, another lampwork, crystal, and a spacer bead. This is where it gets a little bit tricky for me. I don't always bring it out to the right. I don't always get it to come out to the right size. I want it to turn just a little bit like this. So it's a little curved, which is another reason why we work hardened it, so that when we curve it, it will stay. And I almost think I have too much wire on here now, so. But that's okay. I'd rather have too much than not enough, because I can always trim it down if it's, yeah, that's not going to come out correct. I'm going to trim off pretty close to a ½ inch. See what I come up with now. Probably trimmed off too much, and I'll have to start all over again, but so hard to tell at first. Roll that back on again on the smallest bail making portion of the plier. Again, go back up into my fourth sized one there. Yeah, that came out just right. Actually, trimming off that ½ inch, so cut 4½ inches, not 5. Okay, now you can see I've got them off. This one's up there and that one's down there. That's okay. All you gotta do is twist it. Just twist it into shape. Okay? And then when you start to, oops, sorry. Just start bringing everything into alignment here. Now again, we're going to want to open this one. Just like that. Grab another little piece of wire. Okay. Again, get in there and get a few wraps on it. Trying to hold the beads out of the way and hold the tail of that wire is a little tricky at first. Just wrap it again 4 or 5 times. Whatever you did on the other side, repeat on this side. I am going to go ahead and close my loop up first so that it's not in my way while I adjust everything. Okay. Now I'm going to come to the back side again and trim that one and the other one go. That one. Take your time and just readjust everything. Make sure everything's all flushed. Make sure everything's closed. Make sure everything looks really good. And get all my scraps out of the way here. And this is what I've got. Okay. Again, if they're still not quite lining up, just twist them into shape till they are. There we go. So I think that looks really nice. And that was with 4.5 inches of wire, not 5. So that came out perfectly. Now, to do the earring ones, we're just going to, again, take the smallest bail and roll it so it's shut. Do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. So we have this. Okay. And I'm going to use the 4th largest one on this side. And I'm just going to start pushing them right up. Try to make them even. If one side, they're looking really even right now, but if one side's a little longer than the other, then just push that side in a little bit more and they'll even out. Okay, now it's all wonky still, it's all kind of warped. So I am just going to take my nylon jawed pliers and just give them a little bit of a squish. Get everything all nice and flat and into shape. And then I have this little hook that looks like the eye hook on like a back of a bra or any type of hook and eye closure. We're going to do 2 of these. So again, over the smallest barrel and over the smallest barrel on the other end. And then over the 4th size barrel, the bigger of the 2 in the middle. Push our ends up till they meet in the middle. Straighten that all out. And bring them together. Okay, so we have 2 of those. I'm going to set those aside right now because those are for our earrings. We'll work on those when we do the earrings. Alright, I'm going to set this aside for the time being. And if you wanted this more curved, you could certainly curve it more. You could bring it way up like this. I actually kind of like it like that. I think I will. Leave it just up there like that. Okay, so, but anyway, I'm going to set that out of the side. I'm going to dig out some eye pins. And I'm going to do 3 different sections of beading here. The first one is going to be a gold ball. No, it's not, I'm sorry. It's going to be a crystal barrel. One of our bead caps. One of our green crackled beads. Another bead cap. Oops, 2 there. And another of the barrel beads. So this is one portion. Okay. And I'm just going to bend that right over the crystal using my fingernail to give that a little bit of space so I don't crack my crystal. Going to trim that down. And try to find my round nose. Find my round nose pliers and roll that. So I have a component that looks like this. Okay, so that's one component that I'm going to make. The second one is the gold bead. Going to use those little green gumdrop looking beads. I'm going to put it on small end first. I'm going to put on one of my little flowers. maybe. Another one of the gumdrop beads, flat end first, and another gold bead. So then I have this little flower, and it looks like little leaves on the side of it. And once again, I'm going to fold that over, just like that. Cut it down, and roll that one. Just like this. That's our second component. And then our third one is very simple. It's just 3 of these opalite beads. And you're going to need more of these than you are of the other 2 components, because these are going to separate those 2 component sections. So again, we're just going to fold it over. Get rid of that piece. Boy, the wind is really picked up out there. So we have this little section here. There. And that is what we're going to be making. So I'm going to pause while I make a mess of those up for us. And I will be right back. Okay, so I have put all these on links here. I have taken the time to make sure that all of my loops are parallel. So now all we need to do is going to be to start linking things together. And I pulled out 2 6mm jump rings. I think they're 6mm. Does look like I need to trim it just a little bit because they are overlapping. So let's get that taken care of first. So I got the 2 jump rings here for attaching my first portion of my, which is the flower segment. And same thing on the other side here. This one looks like it's a little overlapped as well. I'm going to give this one a little bit of a trim. It's not as much as the other one, but enough. Put that one on this side. And then it starts coming together like this. And from this point, I'm just going to open the links. I thought it would use a lot more links, so I had more laid out. But as I started doing them, I realized that it would have ended up making it very long by the time I added on some chain. So I did end up cutting a few of them out of it, because I don't really want this bar portion to hang really low. I'd rather have it right like across my collarbone here. So there's that one. Then one of these ones. And you could eliminate the clear ones and just keep going with, you know, the flower one, the green one, the flower one, the green one. I think it would look really pretty like that as well. That would be what it would look like from that point on, instead of having this one in between. Oh, the traffic is very loud out there tonight. So is my cat. It's another overcast day today. We're supposed to get rain snow mix for the next 3 days. It's a little dark in here. I apologize for that. Okay, so this is what I've got. I got the clears, a flower, the clears, a green, the clears, and a flower. You could actually eliminate the flower if you wanted to and just do green, green, green all the way up. That would look really pretty as well. So now let's do this side. Actually, this piece on a chain would be very pretty without all the linked pieces. And the last one. And this is what we've got. Gosh, that's really pretty. I like that a lot. Okay. So now all we need to do is figure out what length chain we're going to need. I think I had something stuck to me that just fell on the floor. Alright, so I'm going to say 2.5 inches of chain per side. Let's see what we get. Okay, this one. Now, dip it with that other pin. There we go. Grab that one. That one. Try to get the same link here. Do not think these links have an opening in them. I'd say they're solid. There is that. So once again, I am just going to open these ends, put my chain on. And I'm going to take that lobster clasp that we received in the box, and it came with its rings. So that makes it nice and easy and convenient. It's a nice big lobster. I can find the opening on this one. There's that one. And that is completed. If I can find the ring, I'll be all set. So there's our necklace. Didn't that come out pretty? I really like that a lot. Like I said, you could leave this piece less curved, make it straighter, make it more of a bar necklace if you wanted to. So I'm going to set this aside and we will work on the earrings. And I did already get one of them started, so you have an idea of how it's going to look. Okay, so I did wire this piece already. This one we will wire together. And the other ear stud with the flower on it. And I thought I had another eye pin, but seems to be missing, so I'll just grab another one. Okay. And these are going to be basically one of our sections from the necklace piece. It's going to be crystal bead, if I can get it on there, bead cap, one of the green beads, another bead cap, another crystal bead, and these ones will be wire wrapped. So we'll take our round nose, put it right down there on that crystal, bend it over the top, come up into that bend, up and over, and around. So we have this. Take our pliers and hold that little loop, and grab the tail and start wrapping. Just like that. Straighten it out a little bit, tweak it, do whatever you need to do to make it look right. Come in there and cut that off. Push down any sharp edges. And we've got the second section for it here. And again, we are just going to open this up, drop on our ear wire, earpiece. Oh no, I didn't let that dry long enough. Well, if I had let that dry long enough, it would have a little flower there. So, anyways, I'm going to re-glue it. I'll give you a chance to see me gluing it. And then I'll set it aside to dry and we'll work on the other one. Alright, so I'm just going to put a little glue on here. Set it right on that flower. Hopefully it will stay in place long enough to dry. Try not to bump it while it dries. This one should be glued pretty well. I did that one the other day. Okay. Now, let's get all these pieces in here. I still need 2 more crystals, and I think that's everything. Take another little piece of our beading wire, or wrapping wire, or 26 gauge wire here. I'm going to open both of these up. Just like that. So I can get in there to wrap. And I'm going to bring my wire in and just give them a few wraps. Give it a little pinch here to make everything lay flush. Close our loops back up. Squeeze it all down, give it a smush. Okay. Now I'm going to bring this wire around from the back, trim it down, and try to push that in. And take this one here from the beginning. And do the same thing. There, just like that. I pushed it a little too hard because I took some of the finish off that gold wire. So be very careful when you're doing that. You don't strip your finish off like I just did. All right, so another crystal bead, another bead cap, another green bead, same thing. Bead cap and crystal bead. Another wrapped loop. Whoop, wrong pliers. These ones seem to be a little shorter than that one. Doesn't have quite as much tail as the one I had a minute ago. So I have to be a little more careful when I'm wrapping and not let it wrap around my plier. So I'll have enough to work with. 1, 2, and 3. Make sure it's all nice and straight. We'll go ahead and do the other one, and then we'll add them. And there's our jump ring for the hook and the ear wire to the little wire component that we made. Okay, so we've beaded this one up. Same thing. Okay. Grab hold of that loop. Didn't have a very good hold on that. Oops, sorry about that. There's 2 and 3. Straighten everything out and trim that piece off. And then we've got those ones done. I think that one literally just bounced off the ceiling and landed on my head. Oh well. Open up our little jump ring. These are just little 4mm jump rings, and that is just to attach the big loop of our component to the stud on our flower. And there's that. And then we're going to open one of these up. Drop on one of these little components here. Close it back up. Make sure it's closed good and tight because that wire is thin and it will slip right out of there. So give it a good close. Open up the other side and drop on that one. And there is our earring. Isn't that cute? Very, very spring. All right, let me get out my ear backs. Again, I gotta let the other earring dry a little bit longer than I did so that it doesn't come apart on me again. That's really sweet, and it's a nice way to use a bead that isn't conventional. So there is that, and our pretty little necklace to go with it, using a little bit of wire wrapping. Alright, so I'm going to pause and put everything on a stand and show you how it looks. And here is the finished product. So I hope you guys liked this one. Thank you so much for joining me once again. And I hope you guys get the chance to play around with a little bit of wire and see what you can make with it. It is a lot of fun to work with. And again, you know, it's just wire. You screw it up, you throw it away and start over. Alright guys, thank you so much. Have a wonderful day. Bye.